Today, let's see how this cool portal can be made in Unity. I have previously done 2 portal tutorials, each one with their own thing going on, but today we have a special portal that looks like an entry to hell. It's an updated version, we have the cube map and this ring on fire going on. As usual, this is all available on my Patreon page, where you can download these portals and many more visual effect assets, links below. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this. In our scene, we have this beautiful portal. It's brutal, it's gothic, and it's from Reversed Interactive from the Asset Store. It's free and it's awesome, and we are going to create a portal for it. So let's begin by creating, with right click, a visual effect graph, a minimal system, and we can rename it to VFX Graph _ portal, open it up, and this is what we got. We want to begin by creating the ring on fire inside the portal, right? We can rename it to portal texture or ring on fire. And let's make sure bounds mode is set to manual with a size of 100 in X, Y, and Z, so it's visible even if the camera is not pointing directly at the portal. And then we want to spawn one particle with a single burst, and the magic happens down here. We don't want this output particle. We want instead an output shader graph mesh. We are going to use a shader and a mesh. Let's first drag and drop our VFX graph to the portal and place it in a proper position. Yeah, we have a cube, but we need a circle, and it's a very simple mesh. If we open up Blender, we can guide you through, and basically in an empty scene we want to add with Shift A UV sphere, and down here on the left you can control the segments and rings in case you want to make it smaller or bigger, because this increases the poly count. Basically we want 20 segments, and with tab we can enter in edit mode. Now let's select these faces right here, and then with Ctrl I we want to select the invert and delete it, delete faces, because we only need this part right here. And the idea now is to select everything with A, and with S scale it on the Z axis, a value of 0, so it becomes flat, as you can see. And then let's get out of edit mode with tab again, and in object we want to do a set origin to geometry. So the origin goes to the geometry itself, and now with Shift S we want to say selection to cursor, which is down there at the center of the world. We are doing this so the pivot is perfectly aligned with the center of our circle, and it's very important that it is aligned. Now let's scale it a little bit more. It should be bigger, something like this. Yeah, not that big. In terms of UVs, we want to make sure that we have constraint to image bounds first, because we need to make a few adjustments here, and we don't want to get out of this square. We want to select this edge and push it all the way down. Select the next edge and push it more or less around here, and then the next edge. We are spreading these edges basically. And then we want to rotate this with R -90 degrees, because those triangles right there on the right now represent the center, and if we pan a texture to the right, it feels like the texture is being sucked into the center of this circle, and you will notice it with the shader. And finally, all we need now is to apply all transforms with Ctrl A, here we go, and then rename this to something like circle, for example 01. With the circle selected, let's go to File, Export as an FBX. Make sure selected objects is on, and enable apply transforms right here. Once you have done it, you can assign the new circle to VFX Graph in Unity, and then adjust the size with a set size. Let me just remove this texture right here so it's easy to visualize. And now we can reposition this so it matches the position of our portal, of our 3D model. Here we go, much better, looking nice. Now we can create some magic with this. So, we need a shader graph, a very simple shader, not that hard. Right click, shader graph, URP, and lead shader graph. It doesn't need to be affected by the lights of the scene. And double click to open it up. First thing we want to do on the graph inspector is allow material override, so we can control these settings, all of these settings, directly in the inspector. And then support VFX Graph is extremely important, so it works on VFX Graph. It's going to be transparent and additive, and for now that's it on the graph inspector. From here, basically what we need is to sample a texture 2D. It has an input for a texture, so let's create a text 2D property and call it main text, where we are going to assign a specific texture. We can show you how to create it. It's a noise, and if you go and get Material Maker, it's extremely useful, and we can show you how to create one. It's also very simple because it's text done with nodes. So let's begin by searching for shard FBM noise. If you select it, you can preview it on the 2D window right there. We can increase its sharpness to 0.8 and then play with the scale, something like 10 on the X and on the Y. How many times does it fold? Well, you can test it. We are going to say 1 time with 4 iterations and a little bit more persistent. Now in our case it will be useful if we increase the dark values, the dark areas. So let's use a colorize node and push this black key to the right. This way we have more dark spots. And we can do something else, which is mix another noise, in this case a dirt noise, with a huge scale like 3. And then we can use a math node to combine these two. But instead of adding these two together, let's divide A with B, and it will create this very interesting texture. And if we try to invert it with an invert node, we get this kind of fiery texture with all of these details, and it will look awesome in our portal. We already tested these parameters and noises, but feel free to test different nodes and stuff like that. You will come up certainly with interesting textures as well. Material Maker is awesome. To export this, all we need is to go up here, rename this, select the resolution, select image and export as a PNG. And if we go back to Unity, we can assign it right here and then connect to our sample text 2D. The other input the sample text 2D can receive is a UV, and we have this tiling and offset node, which is extremely useful. And it will allow us to create another property, a vector 2, for the main text tiling, which by default should be 1 by 1. This controls the scale of the text essentially, and if you want to stretch it on the X or on the Y. And then we can create another vector 2 for the main text speed to control how fast it pans. If we want this to automatically pan, we need a time node. We can multiply these two together and connect to the offset. And here we go. From here, we can connect this to the base color. And now let's see how it looks with our VFX graph. We can assign it right here. If we go to the scene, this is the kind of effect we get at this point. It's an interesting one, but what we are trying to achieve is a ring on fire. So essentially we need to mask out what's in the center. Create another sample text 2D, create another text 2D property and call it mask text. We need a texture. Let's go back to Material Maker. It's a very straightforward one. We can use a gradient. Rotate it 180 degrees so it matches our UVs. Remember, the right side represents the center of the circle, which means if we add a key more or less around here and push it to the right, and then push the black key to around 0.2, we are enlarging the emptiness at the center. And in this case, we don't want the black values, so let's use a colorize node, and on the black key say the alpha is 0, so it becomes transparent. Export this. And if we go back to Unity, we can assign it right here to our mask texture property. Drag and drop it, sample it. And there's another thing we can do first is connect the main text to a power node, which allows us to control how much it dissolves the main text basically. We can create a float property and call it power with a default value of 1. Connect it right here. And if we increase it or decrease it, as you can see, we can make it less or more visible, the main text. Now let's multiply these two together. And we are almost done. We just need to make sure that the color works with this shader. In other words, we need a vertex color. Multiply it with the mask texture. And then create a color property with the mode set to HDR and white as the default color. And multiply these two together as well. And up here we are going to connect to the base color and down here to the alpha. And this is the end result we get. It's empty on the center, as you can see. We still have the fiery texture going on. And now if we go back to VFX Graph, we can choose an orange color leaning to the red side and increase the intensity to around 5, 6 till we get this awesome feeling. Plus we can decrease the tiling on the X to 0.2 so the texture isn't so squashed. We want to stretch it a little bit. In terms of speed, it doesn't need to be that fast. On the X, something like minus 0.15 feels right. And we can add a spin if we say the Y is 0.1 on the main text speed. And here we go. We get this awesome feeling. And it looks like we are opening a portal to hell. This first output we can call it Texture01 Bright, because we need another output which we can copy with Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V for Texture2 Bright. Let's connect the update particle to the output. Feel free to disconnect the Texture1 Bright output so you can see what's happening on the Texture2 Bright. We are going to go with a reddish color but lower intensity, and the tiling is going to be 0.4 and it's going to move a little bit faster. If we disconnect it, this is what it looks like. It adds a little bit more depth just by doing this. And let's copy this output for the texture tree, in this case dark, where the color is going to be completely black. Connect it right here and disconnect the other outputs. We need to change the shading mode to alpha. And now that we have these dark shadows going on, we can add a different feeling by just changing the texture. For example, if you go back to Material Maker and use a wavelet noise, we can change the type to 2, increase a little bit the scale on the X and Y to 3, leave the iterations as it is, but set the persistence to 1, so it becomes a little bit more defined and not so frequent. And we can decrease the frequency to 1. And then we can blur these out with a Gaussian blur, but not that much. We can increase the grid size to 2048 by 2048, and that's it. We get this pretty cool noise. We can increase its intensity in terms of whiteness by pushing this key to the left with a colorized node, and clip some of the gray values by pushing this black key to something like 0.1. And then we can export it, and that's it. Back in Unity we can assign it right here. In terms of tiling, let's increase it on the X and just make it spin a little bit faster on the Y axis. We can make it more visible by decreasing the power value to 0.5, and here we go. Let's just make sure that this dark output is rendered below everything. If we select the output in the inspector, on the advanced options we can say the sorting priority is -2. Here we go, looking good. Now, as for the other side, the cube map, wherever you want this portal to take you, we can copy this entire system, rename it to something like Otherside, remove texture 1 and texture 3, call this one the other side, and in terms of shader we need something new. It's super simple. Let's create an unlit shader graph, call it Otherside Shader for example, and if we open it up we can say it's transparent and enable support VFX Graph. And the way this works is by getting the view direction and connect it to a sample reflected cube map. This node has all the functions we need, we just need to feed it correctly. For the cube we can create a cube map property and call it the other side texture for example, and assign it a cube map. In this case we are going to use this HDRI that you can get from this site. There's some very cool and free textures here. Once you get the texture, you will need it to set to cube in texture shape and then press apply. Connect the property to the cube and connect this node to the base color. And that's it. If you save it, go back to VFX Graph, you can replace this shader graph, and here we go. We get this awesome portal. We just need to adjust the sorting priority to -2. So we are going to push this dark one to -1. So it's in front of the cube map. And here we go, we have a beautiful portal to hell kind of vibe going on. We can polish this even further by adding a few more details like particles orbiting. Let's copy and paste this other side VFX graph, call it particles orbit. Instead of a single burst we want a constant spawn rate of 100, which means we need to increase the capacity to at least 100. We don't need this output, it's too complex, we just need a few particles, so an output particle unlit is enough, a quad. And we can say they have a lifetime, yes indeed, a random lifetime between 1 and 3 seconds. We want to make sure they spawn in a circular shape, so let's use a set position, sphere. We can switch it to a circle in the shape, and we can adjust its radius so it matches our portal. And if we want them to go towards the center, on the update particles, which happens continuously every frame, we can use an attractor shape sphere with a small radius like 0.2 for example, and we can push the center back there with -2 on the Z. And we can decrease the attraction speed to 1 as well as the attraction force to 3. Stick distance and stick force we can leave it at 1. Feel free to play these values, you will notice how they interact with the particles. In terms of output or of rendering, we want these particles to be oriented to the camera, otherwise they are sideways. And if we want to rotate them as they go, we can go up here to the update particles and set their position. Why we do this? Because we are going to use a rotate 3D node back here, and this works by getting the current position, which is an attribute of each particle, and then we can add a random float to the angle. But it must be a very tiny value, like 0.001 and 0.003. We can switch the rotation axis to be Z, which is depth, and they rotate beautifully. We can also use a linear drag to slow them down, not that much, just a little bit. And now in terms of aspect, since we have the motion pretty much there, we can say they are in additive blend mode, and we can choose a color that matches our feeling, right? The orange one. We can increase their brightness a little bit. And yeah, they are huge, so let's take care of that by using a set size random between 0.1 and 0.3. And they become even more huge, but don't worry, we are going to switch the texture in a moment. What we need is to make sure that they scale down as they die, with this curve from big to small and the composition set to multiply. As for the texture, we can use this Beam01, which we are going to show you how to create with Material Maker. It's extremely simple. If we begin with a shape, set it to circle, decrease its radius to 0.8 and increase the feather to 0.7. We can then blur this with a Gaussian blur and use a colorize node to remove the black background by saying the alpha of the black key is 0. And then we can export it. We can rename this output to particles orbit, and that's it. We have these beautiful particles going on, and it will add a nice touch. For those who want to take this even further, we actually made a second part of this tutorial with a lot more details, splashes and whatnot, exclusive for our patrons. It's an advanced tutorials tier where you can learn a lot with exclusive tutorials. It's available on my Patreon page, and by being a patron you can also get this project and many other assets and projects for your games. And I want to say thank you to each patron that supported me last month, and as usual a quick shout out to the top tier patrons, which are Albert, Amber Shia, Angel Mata, Anna Tronzi, Ashkon Kalkali, Barker Kumova, Boris Radev, Chaos Games, Diego Marcos, Introversal, Eric Orner, Frosty40, Gabriel De Chichi, Ignacio Garrido, Jade, Ginuga 4, Joseph Balacio, Kirlian Silvestre, Leandro Delicio, Link Dimension, Matt Mahon, Madrick Cambia, Oitsk, Pradip Sen, Rain Mast Sage, Ryan Lessard, Spock the Grey, Stefan B. Junko, Vulcan S, Suta, Whatever Marta, Rock, Pinching Pam, and me J Kim. So that's it, I hope you have enjoyed and I hope to see you on the next one.